Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're all doing well out there. You're on the Unsaid show, and this is on every Monday from 1 to 2. If you're in your car, in your office, I hope you enjoy this. If your boss is watching over your shoulder, well, today is a special episode for women, so he can watch over your shoulder. Today we're going to talk about something very special that's happening this month. Of course, on the Unsaid show, we talk about mental health. We talk about things that are happening in society. But first, let me introduce you to who the lovely ladies are with me today in the studio, and we're going to start from here.
Hello, it's Hyesha Barrett. I'm a life coach.
Okay.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. This is Sahar Salmanian.
Hi everyone, I'm Tamsyn Pereira.
Okay, and
that's always what I said to say. And I'm a therapist for kids
or
and
anything,
adults.
or it's hot or whatever. It just cuts off. It's like woo, that book. So we're happy you're all there listening. Keep this channel on, and let's go for a quick break and then come back again. So you're on 90.4 and you can actually call in, and you know how I don't remember the number all the time. So girls, who's remembered the number?
I got it.
Okay.
You go.
24949493.
Yay.
So we talk about lots and lots of topics. We've covered loads of episodes by now, and we enjoy every episode. And the most that we enjoy is when you guys call in and talk to us about what you think. Today we have Hyesha with us as a guest. Hello. Hyesha.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How
And
are you?
Hyesha forgot that we were live.
I did forget that we were live, so I was gesturing.
But that's how women are. We need to express our feelings with our hands and everything. So today we're talking about something really, really special. And it's not to be biased. It's not because we're all women on the show. But on the 8th of March, it's International Women's Day. And it goes far to 1909. That's really far. So I hope that you guys are listening in, and I hope that you call us, because this episode is going to talk about various topics to do with women, not just one. And we would love to hear what you guys think about it. What do you guys think about having a day for... I mean, we have already the Omani Women's Day on the 17th of October, but the international one, do you think it's needed?
Oh, yes. I think every day should be Women's Day, though.
Okay,
we
but
should
why?
celebrate women every day. Because we're worth it. We're worth celebrating.
Somebody could come and say, but men are worth it too.
Oh, absolutely. There should be a men's day as well.
As well, okay.
Is there a men's day? I'm not
No,
even
there's
sure.
a dad's day.
Aww.
We'll get them one. Yeah, but what do you think, Sahar?
I think we need an international day because that's a sign of unity, and we all, celebrate despite the differences that we have. And then we can have the national day beside that. And I think days are just reminders for us that although we celebrate, we have to celebrate every day, but those days we remind ourselves the voices, the values that we have, the changes that we have from last year.
Tom?
Yeah, I have mixed reviews. I've recently been hearing a lot of my female clients get really frustrated about Women's Day, especially for last Omani Women's Day, about how they don't want discounts and offers and things like that. What they want is actually for people to listen to them, for them to feel safe, for them to be able to unite with other women as well, just like you said. I think it's a slow process, but we're getting there.
Yeah, like everything, I'm guessing. Everything takes time, and we need to look at both sides of the story, as you said. Yes, it's not only about having discounts or parties or all of that, but it's also empowerment, which that word kind of drives me crazy right now. But anyhow, like to get women to work together, I think that's the most powerful thing.
Absolutely.
If I thought about it. And when we complain but we don't do, that doesn't help at all.
Right.
So I think teaching our kids as well, the girls, the youth, that it's not only about you complaining, it's also about you doing. And that's something we lack a lot. It's either it's all super rosy or really dark. And I think it should be, in the middle. And there's a great grand assembly that's done in New York on the 8th of March of every year. Of course, in COVID, it was online for a while, but I think that's a place where you can share your ideas, and also you can be a delegate online and send these ideas and talk about it instead of just feeling frustrated about it alone. And it's women from all around the world, so it's very, very educational. I would like, if on Women's Day, besides having talks, because there's going to be so many talks this month, loads here and abroad, to actually have something that is ongoing. Not a one-hit wonder.
Exactly.
To actually have, and every talk in the end, we're like, okay, what's the important points that came out of it? But why aren't we doing them? I mean, 1909. We're in 2023. What is the problem then? Or is this always going to be there? This is something we need to think about. What do you guys think?
I think there should be more unity. I think there should be more community. And when we have that, when we feel that there are people that were involved as a society as a whole, then we can move this movement forward. I think it's when there's only little groups of people go, oh, it'd be great if we did this, or it'd be great if we did this. But when there's no sort of collaboration there, then it kind of falls off the wayside. So in order for there to be an ongoing thing, ongoing momentum, yes, we can have a day to celebrate it, sure, which is what I love.
Yes.
But what I was saying earlier as well, every day is a celebration. Let's continue this. It's not because it's just one day. Let's focus on the one day to empower or feel better or move forward.
That's true.
But what about the 364 days of the year?
That's true.
What about that?
Yeah. And that's something in everything, right? When we talked about Valentine, we talked about that. When we talked about love, and everything has to be continuous. But these days maybe just highlight, get you back on, that, what, okay, we've forgotten something, or let's actually talk about some pressing issue. It's true. It could be a check-in as well. And it could be something that could remind your value, because I think we forget sometimes in the midst of everything and the hecticness, the value that we add together, men and women, that we have to work together to add a lot of things. There's so many beautiful quotes about it, and I think we would love to hear from everyone else. Call in or DM and tell us, and let's go for a break and come back and continue and say, what are the things that women actually go through in their life that might affect their well-being?
This is Oman FM.
Wow, and the girl is on fire. I think she's on fire. Did you see her last concert in Saudi?
No, I didn't.
It had her this song, and it had also traditional folk song from Saudi. So it was really on fire. And that was Alicia Keys. I think we have a caller. Woohoo! No. We don't.
We don't.
No. This was just to get you guys to call us. Yes. It was a plan.
We would love you to
reverse
call us.
Psychology. Now call us. Come on, women, support us. Anyway, I want to talk about some things that women might be going through, or they do go through, that might affect sometimes with their well-being. When we talk about women's well-being and how their mental health is very important, it is something really, really essential. To be successful, to be productive, to be a mother or a woman who is in a job, you need to look after your head. Okay. And I think with us, the first thing that kicks in is the problem of, not the problem, but hormones. Now, some people take it as a joke. oh, women have hormones and they have issues, and that
Men
really
have hormones too.
annoys me actually because I want to know who told them about that. I think it was a woman actually. Don't you guys think?
Maybe they use that as an excuse at the time.
Exactly,
Kind of blown out of proportion.
and that is not right because this is giving someone a key to use throughout your life, and I feel it's like you're being attacked.
Right.
So even if you got nothing going on in that month, and oh, what's wrong? Is it your hormones? What does that mean? What do you guys think about that? That really pisses me off, honestly. Like, no, it's not my hormones. I'm angry.
Yeah. It's the same thing for men. They have other things
Men have
happening.
hormones.
But men didn't say it.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
But
Do you ever hear them say it?
Yeah, no. I can't imagine
Just
a man
be
saying,
honest.
no, it's my day, I'm not feeling well today,
think
it's my hormones.
They think it's it's being, feminist or female if they talk about hormones. Well, the hormones are in men and in women.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right. But what do you guys feel when somebody says that?
It makes me
Sahar, today, if somebody tells you, or Tam, today, what's wrong with you? You're not focused.
Yeah.
Is it your hormones, Tam?
Like, okay, even if I was on my menstrual cycle, or any woman is, the last thing you should ask them is if they are on their cycle, because if they are, then you should not use that as an excuse. Maybe be nicer to them. So there's an understanding as to why you are behaving the way you are, rather than kind of dismissing a woman and saying, oh, it's because you're on your period or you're on your menstrual cycle.
Exactly.
You know?
And but
that's
that's
very
the
demeaning.
problem. Who told them? Who told them that
Scientists.
happens? I doubt it. Let's be honest. I think it must be some female who must have said it once, and now it's gone on and on.
That's why, some of the times I believe that the changes should start with women themselves.
Yes.
There
Very
are
much.
things, we see a lot of cases when women come and they complain about women's around them. They tell that, like, my mom, my auntie, and people around me are encouraging me that you should do this, you shouldn't do that. They are not supportive to them because they are stick to their traditional thoughts. And in this modern world, a lot of things has been changed, so the expectations should be adapted, changed to the new lifestyle that women have. Because before, men were more active, and then the expectations, the house chores, taking care of kids were mostly on women. But now that everything has been changed, of course, there should be a new balance in lifestyle.
That's very true. Very true. Hyesha, what did you want to say?
No, I was going to say as well that there is the flip side where a lot of women use that as an excuse. I'm sorry, I'm tired today because I'm on my period. I'm sorry,
That's
I can't
what
do
I
this.
mean. How did men
You
know?
do it for me because I'm on my period. So
Yeah.
people, it's kind of come this mainstream thing where a lot of women use that as an excuse.
That's true.
But so for me, I don't like that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I know how it is to be on our
is
cycle.
there, for
yeah,
example,
and there are some people who have it worse than others.
Exactly.
So we can't dismiss that either.
Yeah.
But using it as an excuse is not a good
100%.
thing.
And then, a lot of people will talk about mental health and women, and they will ask us, oh, do women go through more issues than men? We think women they will actually ask but reply. I'm like, no. It's just that we go through quite a bit of things. I mean, this is one of the things that does affect. I mean, you have that, as an adolescent, and then if you're getting pregnant, then you have another kind of set of stuff going on, and then menopause. There's so many things going on, and maybe sometimes people don't realize because it's inside. It's in our body, so they don't think it's an issue. So I think that's one of the main things that also affect a lot of women and that are not able to give their all at certain times.
This actually triggered a memory for me back in high school. I remember whenever we did our science lessons and we were learning about the body, we were separated. The women were separated, like the girls were separated when we had to talk about our menstrual cycles and about pregnancy and about our body and the uterus, and the boys were put in a separate room. And I think that there's so much shame around all of this women related that obviously I think the boys in this class were not taught as well, and I think men need to be educated about it as well.
That's very true.
And I think once they do, then they can be more compassionate to everyone as well.
Definitely.
Sometimes they get a bit shocked.
Yeah.
And they go like,
Like, really? You're going through that? No.
But those are that's one of the things that might affect us, our hormones. Another thing is, of course, how we're brought up. We always talk about culture and how we're brought up and religion. That also would affect how one functions in their world. If they're brought up as in, you're a girl, you shouldn't do this, that, and the other, let your brother do it because he's a man. All that kind of culture also affects how you are perceive yourself in the future with work, with people, and all of that. So that's something also we need to really focus on. I mean, you just touched on something to do with culture.
Yeah.
Some schools don't have that. They actually study it together.
Yeah.
So that's culture based. I think,
was in
as
an
well.
Indian school.
Yes, so
and
that's a
It
culture
was the
based.
same for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which kind of runs into how parents raise their kids as well in different cultures. Fortunately, I was blessed with parents who, like me and my sister, were treated as equals. You know, my dad would always say, I'm gonna teach you how to survive in the world without a man, so you do your own thing, you be independent, and then you look for others for like external validation, but you got it on your own. And I think that's something that a lot of I think a lot of times parents in cultures like ours don't teach their kids, or they teach their kids that you are looked at differently.
That's very true, which is not the right way to go at all. I think also having, as you said, parents that would teach you that way. We were 4 girls, and my dad was like, okay, you're 4 girls, but you're going to do everything. So you're going to drive, you're going to travel, you're going to work, you're going to fix furniture. I used to love fixing IKEA with my dad. So things like that actually make you, as you grow up, you're like, yeah, I can do it. I can do it. I don't have a problem. And you would see, if you're in a line with other women, you'd see some women going forward and someone kind of, you know, like a bit worried. And it's all to do with how you were brought up. Right?
That's right.
What do you think, Hyesha?
I mean, I do agree with that as well, but is there also an innate thing in our personality? Because even though we brought up with the same family, the same surroundings, the same environment, everything, but we're different.
Yes.
You know?
Definitely.
Like there are some who are more outgoing, there are some who are less, you know, a little bit more introverted. So we have to use that as a factor as well. Take that into
So it's
consideration
2 things,
as well.
but that's like a beginning.
Yeah.
And then as you have kids, you notice, even though you brought them up all the same, but some would be different. That's what's beautiful about it. Why would you want everybody the same? But
100%.
the idea of putting them on the right path and then they find their way throughout life. I think that's very important.
And of course, beside that, there are things that you can change. Imagine if you don't have good parents to educate you, to inspire you, to tell you these are things, potentials that you can, you know, grow, you can feed in your life. But maybe you reach to an age that you are matured enough, and then you get inspired by your teacher. And we have heard a lot of stories that one student changed her dreams and went for her dreams because of her teacher, because of someone in their family, although their parents were not very supportive. So I would say there is always a hope, even if you don't have that brought up, if you don't have it in your family, you can always reparent yourself. You can find the inspiration out there.
That's lovely. I'm Every Woman, and that's the name of our show today. And let's go for a little break.
This is
when you hear songs like I'm every woman, and then you go, yeah, I'm every woman, and you go out to the world, and then you find out, no, it's not as easy as the song. I think that happens a lot, right?
Yes.
And loads of songs I remember, like as a teenager, and especially when you're a teenager, you really, you have this kind of role model, and I'm going to be like her, and this song is really powerful, and that's how the world is. Then you go to school and you find out that's not how the world is. Then you go to uni and you feel, whoa, again, that's not how the world. Then you get to work, and that's a whole different world. And you find lots of groups that are working there, and you have another hurdle to jump over. So let's talk a bit about women at work. Sometimes because we feel like, okay, we need to prove ourselves, we do everything. Even things that maybe we're not supposed to do at work. Like, you don't have to do all the jobs, but you're like, I'm going to prove to them I can do everything. I'm every woman. I can, that poster that's very famous, the woman who's juggling so many stuff in her hands, that poster they always do in presentations. And you think, yeah, I can do that, even though if one thing drops, everything drops, and they forget to show you that picture. They just show you the woman juggling and everything. And then they start talking about how women are at work, and how if you're a boss, you're maybe even tougher than a man. And why do you guys think that's the reason that some women who become in high positions become even tougher than male who are in high positions? I have an idea, but I want to hear what you guys think.
I feel like it goes back to your perspective, because in history we have seen a lot of discriminative behaviors at workplace, and women have been working so hard to show themselves, to prove themselves that we are equal and we can work as men before. But I feel like maybe sometimes it should be stopped, that men believed it. No need to prove them again and again. So I feel like this perspective can mislead you to this direction, that although I have the power now, I am stable in my position, but there is always a fear. There's always an uncertainty. Maybe there is another man, or maybe there is another woman who don't like me to be in this position, so I have to be as tough as I can.
Yeah, I want to talk about women and body language just quickly before we continue. So we were told that we shouldn't bang on the tables while we're talking, right? What's that? With our hand. But I notice we do that when we want to prove a point.
Yeah.
When something is annoying us, we use our hands. Have you guys noticed in body language? That's how we are. We're calm, but once we want to say something, we go with our hand, and that's exactly why we use our hands when we talk. So just to all you men out there who this annoys you, it's us trying to express our feelings. Okay? Look, hands. I was watching the YouTube. Let's continue. Thank you for that.
My opinion would be, I think another factor that really goes into like women's behavior is hyper independence. So I know we talked about being independent to an extent, but at what point do we get pushed to hyper independence?
Maybe explain what that is as well. Maybe the listeners don't know what that is.
Independence would mean, and this can be for men and women. I just think like there's a lot of research which shows that it shows up more for women, where they take things into their own hands. They're super independent to the point where they will never ask for help, even if they're overwhelmed, even if something's stressing them out. So it is a stress response where you're like, you know what, I got this. Yeah, I'm never going to ask anyone for help. I don't want to reach out or let anyone else do some of my tasks, because I can do it on my own. So I don't know, what do you ladies think? And if anyone's listening to us, if you think that you've been pushed into hyper independence, why do you think that's happened?
And maybe we can tell them the number again, which is 24949493. I'll say that number again, 24949493. Yeah.
I think with the whole work thing and women pushing themselves, it also dates back to, a long time ago. So it's kind of originated from there, where it's like, okay, you want to be as equal as a man, prove your worth.
Yes.
And so it's kind of grown into that. It's the same thing as what we were saying earlier. It's like, it's become this norm. It's become this thing. So we kind of have to break that barrier. We have to kind of understand, okay, this is the situation we're in. We're in the 21st century. Things are different now. Women are stronger. Women are in the workforce. Women are bosses. Women have a higher position, and they're mothers at the same time. And they can be vulnerable, and they can be sweet. So I think what's happened is that there is this line that potentially has been blurred, where they feel that because they're a boss or because they're stronger, they have to be this high-powered, strong, sort of like, you know, in some way even putting people down to prove their worth. But actually, when we realize that it's not that, the more nicer we are, the more compassionate we are, the more kinder we are to ourselves and to others, we're more approachable. And when we realize that as women, and we actually embody that, and we actually uplift ourselves up, and not only ourselves but others, then we can create that community again, then we can create that unity. But because we're still not at that level, I feel like there is still this rat race of, oh, I'm going to prove myself. I need to be stronger than you. I need to be higher than you. Yeah. And by doing that, it's being aggressive rather than being assertive.
But why do you feel we're still not there?
I really
Is
like
it something
the word.
personal? I mean, is it something, again, to do with the personality? Because really, like, when you think about it, I think we are there. We have amazing women leaders, and we have seen that in COVID. Amazing decisions came from amazing women leaders. And something I really loved is, I love when a woman feels that's it, I can't take it anymore, they actually leave. And I've seen that, and we've all seen that happen so many times. Recently, we've seen it with the president of New Zealand. He's like, this is it, I'm tired. Sometimes that is the best thing to do. And with women, why we're so awesome, besides us being awesome, we have the two globes of the mind. You know, we have that soft, nice, kind, and then we have this really strong, you know, effort that we give. I've heard this so many times, that if you're a woman, and if you're a mother especially, you will break down a door if your child is in pain. And that's true. So we have so much strength, yet we have this lovely other side that's really, really soft. So we have two worlds. Really, we should be the bestest, as my daughter would say, the bestest of the best, right? But we still hold back. If we're in a meeting, we will not really say what we really think, because we feel, oh no, what if he laughs at me? You know, or what if he, why do you think of he? Why don't think about what you're saying? Say it and be positive about it, because you don't know what's going on with him in his mind either. We see a lot of women when they're going somewhere, some of them will really push each other, and then some of them will push each other and then run away and leave you alone, and you're alone. With men, and I don't want to be biased, I feel they have this brotherhood a bit stronger. And I wish that we would have that too, because when we work together, and this is not just to sound amazing or wow, we really do big, amazing work. Because we have the two sides, the soft and the hard side as well.
Yeah, I agree. At what point do you think, like, because of what Hyesha and you said, at what point do you think we've learned to start tearing other women down, looking at them as competition?
Jealousy.
And
women are jealous. This is something we have in us. I don't know if it's in our DNA or something.
And that's never corrected as early intervention, you know? We're taught to race against others, fight against others, tear other women down specifically, not other people in general. Yeah. And I think that needs to change for everyone.
Definitely.
And I also feel as well that, yes, the jealousy is there for sure, but it's also to do with us in the sense that we have a really harsh inner critic. We have a lot of things going inside our bodies that where we don't feel confident in ourselves. We don't have a lot of self-love. So therefore we hate on others, or we project on others.
We project our insecurities by being
But if we had a lot of self-love, if we had a lot of compassion for ourselves, as the saying goes, in order to love others, you have to love yourself.
Exactly.
So others who pick on others or who put other people down, it's because they're not, we know that, they're not happy in themselves.
And you know, even when we say jealousy, by the way, jealousy is not always negative.
No. To an extent,
it can be healthy.
It's good.
Exactly.
Use it as motivation.
Because it could be very useful. I want you guys to be jealous that we're here, and for you to call us.
Call us, please. At least one
Call
caller.
us. We want to hear your voice.
Yes.
And Sahar, you're going to say the number.
24949493. Call us.
Don't change that dial on 90.4, and let's go for a short break.
This is Oman FM.
back on this special show today to do with women and Women's Day on the 8th of March. Happy Women's Day in advance to all of you from all of us here.
Happy Women's Day!
You're doing an amazing job. Go for it and don't feel like you don't have self-esteem. Self-esteem is a superpower, and something else Sahar actually brought up.
Yeah, vulnerability. I wanted to talk about this because I feel like there is a misconception around being powerful, being confident, and being successful. If you feel like I have to be always perfect and I am not allowed to make a mistake, I'm not allowed to say my opinion and people disagree with me. If I'm in a group and I suggest for something and they don't go with my suggestion, then I'm a failure. But I believe vulnerability is something needed for all of us, even for powerful people, because it gives you opportunity to see others' opinions, to see others' perspectives, to be open to different situations. So I would say confidence is not being perfect. Confidence is being at peace with yourself. Confidence is being okay with your flaws and with your strengths at the same time.
Yeah, and believe in yourself. We say this so many times. Believe in yourself. Failing is okay.
Yes.
Okay, who don't fail, that is not normal. But you know what? We have a caller.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yay!
Yay! We have a caller. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Who's on the line?
Hello? Wait. Hello?
Can't hear anybody.
Yeah, we can't hear.
But at least we got a caller.
Yes.
So that's a good
Please call
thing.
back.
Call back.
Also, if you can't reach us through calling, then DM us
DM
on
us.
@NotAloneOman.
Exactly, you can DM us. And we were
Easiest
talking
way.
about some women who feel if they fail once that they can't do it again. And they feel like, it's not going to happen anymore. And that's it. I'm not going to, because I'm a woman and that's why they did this to me and that's why it's not working. Stop talking negative to yourself because it will actually happen. Think again. We're trying for the call.
Yes.
Yes. Hello.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Hi, how are you?
Everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
I
Hello.
couldn't hear you saying we have a call, we have a call. I'm the only one today. I knew you were really
You're a
excited.
special one.
We're
Can you
very
tell us who's
excited.
on the phone? Who's talking to us? Hello?
Who's on the
Hello?
line? What's your name, please?
Oh, every time it's gone.
Marguerite?
Oh, there.
Coming. I can't hear you.
No, we can hear you. Thank you for
Okay.
calling us. You're going to be the special caller today, actually. We're talking about Women's Day that's coming up on the 8th of March. So happy Women's Day to you.
Happy Women's Day to all of you and all the
you.
women all around the globe.
Thank you so much. What do you think about women and what they need to... Let's not make a broad question so it's not too difficult. Tell us something awesome about women. Give us like one bombastic sentence.
Women are awesome.
Yes.
Okay,
You
and
know,
more?
women are awesome.
Why are we
Just
awesome,
simply
though?
being a woman is a blessing, honestly, to me. Some people, they say, why are we women? Life is difficult. We have to take all the burden. We're going through a lot when men are not, but that's not true. We're women and we're special. We're gifted to be women because we can handle a lot of things. We can take care of ourselves and others. Yes, sometimes we abuse this or we do it in a wrong way or we take too much care of others and we actually forget about ourselves, but yet we can do it. We have a lot of powers. We are gifted with a lot of things. We sometimes don't even realize that we do.
That's very true. That's
Beautiful,
really good.
yes.
And it's not like we don't like men. They're okay.
We love
They're
men.
okay.
Men
They're
are
nice.
We
awesome.
love them.
We
We
need
need
men.
them.
This is how life is, men and women. So we're happy that you're there.
Exactly.
Thank you for that energetic call. That was lovely.
We're not competing. We're just completing each other. We're not competing
Love
against each
that.
other.
Nice.
Yes.
And on that
And just
note,
one more message to
Yeah.
all the women around the world. Love yourself.
Yes,
Thank
love
you.
Self-love,
yourself.
so important.
So important. That's such an energetic call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
Thank
Have a
you.
lovely day.
You too. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
So we're not competing, we are completing
completing.
each
I
other.
love that.
That was beautiful.
We're going to use that slogan.
Yes.
Thank you for that caller. We still have time, a bit of time, but I want to talk about movies that talks about women and all of this. So many amazing movies out there, right? What's your most favorite movies? if we chose from each one of you?
I remember Julie and Julia.
That was an amazing movie.
Yeah,
yes.
it was about two women who had the same passion for cooking, and they wanted to be a very, famous chef. And one of them was inspired by the other one because they were living in different decades. So in the movie, you see different time. And she was reading the book about the other woman, and she got inspired. And she failed a lot of times to cook the cuisine that she wanted to cook, but she didn't give it up. The other day I saw a post which was very nice. It was saying again, 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 and then gain.
That's
love
nice.
that.
Movies are really like, we always talk about movies on the show too, because in therapy we have drama therapy, and where we would act out on something that maybe has happened to us, and also watch a movie and get inspired by it. So I think it's very useful. Also, some of them are really, you come out of the cinema and you feel, wow. A bit like that, who Runs the World and all those songs as well. What about art? My head goes to Mona Lisa.
Yes.
When I see the Mona Lisa, I feel that she's been maybe one of the most famous art pieces of Leonardo to do with women. When you guys look at it, what do you... I'm very confused sometimes when I look at that picture, but I've read so many things about it. It's kind of messed up my head in a way.
Same.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel calm. Sometimes I feel annoyed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get that from her, but it's in a beautiful piece, of course.
It is.
And it generates a lot of different feelings and thoughts. And I think that is what makes her so special.
That's right. And I think that's what we should think about ourselves. Like how she sits in the museum gracefully and beautifully, except some people tried to mess it up a few months ago. But like how she's put in that museum, we should feel that we are a piece of beautiful art. And if everyone thinks of themselves as a beautiful piece of art, I'm sure that they're going to, excel and do so many beautiful things.
And I love that as well, because it's like, same like with a piece of art, you're not going to please everyone. And I think also that's well with women. We want to please everyone. So we're always putting ourselves out there to try... We're people pleasers. I mean, not all of us, but in essence we are, because we're nurturing by nature.
Yeah.
And so realizing that, we are a piece of art. We may be pleasant to others. To some, we may not be pleasant to others. And that's absolutely fine.
That's true.
I think grasping that, because that's been a big thing for me, where I have been a people pleaser my whole life, but understanding that, okay, I may not gel with so many people, and I'm fine, that's cool, that's okay. That's okay. And coming to terms with that, it's made me more acceptant of myself and less needy to please others.
It's lovely. That's actually something that we should try and keep in our system, that we cannot please everyone. You definitely can't. And sometimes when you try and do that, you actually come out with a really bad result. You actually lose a lot of people when you try and please everyone. It also goes back to how you were when you were a child.
Yes.
Did you have to please someone and get there? And this is what affects, I think, being an adult. You keep on going back. I think just leave that chapter and move on to a beautiful new one.
Yeah. And I feel like if you realize after a while that you've been a people pleaser and you want to change that past, talk about it, explain it for others. Don't sit in silence and expect them to take care of you, because maybe they don't know what you want, what you need, or it's been a long time that they got used to your strategy to you please them, and now that things are changed for you, talk about that change and teach them. This is what I need. This is how I want you to talk to me. This is what I want you to give me as a support.
Yeah. And that's coming back again to the communication.
Exactly.
Isn't it? Like explaining to others, not only to other women, but to men. Like in general,
100%.
let's, communication, honesty, and then it makes us just so much more, understood, which is what at the end of the day we want.
I heard this a lot about the glass ceiling. I hear it so many times. And I'm sure a lot of women there will be like, well, you don't know how it feels having a glass. And I think it's more people who work in private sectors, mostly I feel in banks. I hear it mostly from them. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I have another kind of idea about this glass ceiling. Why don't you just break it? Break it. And how can you break it? By believing in yourself, by teaching. If you feel it's men who don't understand, tell them, explain to them. Maybe they don't know what's going on.
More than likely they don't.
Exactly.
That's what my husband says. He says, Hyesha, you just have to explain it to me. I don't understand. I'm
Why
just a
don't
man.
they know? It's so annoying.
They can't read my head.
But we also don't, we're also not clear with
Yes.
we just come back and we feel this person didn't take us out, and we don't tell them. We're just like, huffing and puffing and banging, and they just think, what's going on? I'm watching the TV, and then you're just making noise, and then you go more angry. But you need to communicate properly. All these things will disappear. This glass ceiling will disappear, all barriers. If first you communicate well, second you work, as a team, and you basically work with your sister, this other woman that's in this department. Be a team.
Find
be
your support
strong.
system.
Yeah, don't make people come in between you, and that's very, very important. Tam, you want to say something? Till now we're heading to the end of the show.
Just about habits. I always look at habits as effective and ineffective, not good and bad habits. So the most beautiful thing about people is that you can change your habits, you can alter them. So you mentioned how in your childhood, if you've grown up learning how to dismiss yourself, how to talk down to yourself, as an adult, if you recognize it, call yourself out on that. Make changes. You have the ability as a person to unlearn that habit and relearn a new habit. And take care of yourself.
Yes. And remember, what exactly is sisterhood? When we put it in posters and put amazing quotes, do you actually believe in it or not? Because if you do, you will succeed for sure, and use those two amazing things that you have: your passion, your love, and also being very strong. And on that note, happy Women's Day again.
Happy Women's Day.
And we wish you all the best. And I think we will close by saying our amazing words that we say at the end.
Change begins with you.
Have a blessed afternoon and take care of yourself. Goodbye.
This is